Welcome back to your Friday fishing report. In today's video, we're going to start out at Caddo Lake. Again, guys, over the last few days, we've been getting a lot of storms popping up in the late afternoons. This week's weather forecast is predicting roughly the same. However, the wind is going to be in our favor. The wind anywhere from Ore City all the way down to Caddo Lake, you're looking at roughly 6 to 10 mile an hour constant wind throughout the day, with gusts up to 15 or 20 depending on which model you're looking at. Again, guys, the wind may help you to decide which lake you want to go to this week. We're going to dive right into Caddo Lake. Caddo Lake is still over a foot higher than normal. The water's a little bit murky. If you guys are fishing for bass, remember that in the murky water, your darker colored lures are going to probably do better, and then save your watermelons and your pumpkin seeds and stuff like that for the more clear. The moon is roughly at 99% right now, being 99% full. The perch that have been kind of staging will probably be on beds. This would be a perfect time if you guys are wanting to catch you some perch. Get out there, get as close as you can to the trees. The best luck Angie and I have had has been banging our bobbers into the trees, letting it fall right down, and then hang on and get ready because they're fixing to hit. We've been using worms. I know that the crickets are doing real well for the perch as well. The worms have been doing really well along with the crickets. A lot of people, it's kind of a 50-50 shot whether they're fishing with crickets or worms, but the perch, they're on fire right now. It's a great time to be out, especially if you're wanting to take somebody new who hadn't caught fish. Take them out and let them get some of these big red ears and the big bluegill that we have here at Caddo Lake. If you guys are fishing on the Louisiana side, from what I understand, James Bayou is still really hot over in that area for your bass fishing. And then also on the Texas side, if you run up there to Clinton Lake, the water starts clearing up a little bit better over there than it is in the kind of the main river bayou channel, and that clear water is just going to make it a little easier for you to use some of your other lure colors, especially if you're bass fishing. And then in between the two, you've got Sandy Island. Sandy Island has been producing some really nice catfish in that area as well. So depending on what you're looking for, whether it be catfish or bass, you've got a lot of great opportunities right now. With the water level being high, be courteous as you're going around some of these private properties. A lot of the docks are really close to the water level, and it doesn't take much of a wake to start damaging other people's property. Be courteous about that. And then again, be weather wise. There could be some thunderstorms popping up in late afternoon this weekend. Now let's jump over to Lake of the Pines for a fishing report over there. Lake of the Pines again is still over a foot higher than normal. The catfish at Lake of the Pines is still doing really well. Again, we're at that 99% on the full moon. 2 to 4 foot of water is where the majority of the catfish are hanging out right now. If you can get into some of that flooded timber area, whether it be on foot or by boat, you should be able to catch you a fair amount of catfish really easy using nothing but worms. It's just a great time to be out at Lake of the Pines. The crappie bite is really good on minnows and jigs. The majority of the crappie being caught right now are in that 15 to 20 foot water level using minnows or jigs. If you are out on Lake of the Pines, another thing to be cautious of, again, the water level is still about a foot high, so you may not see some of the stumps that are ordinarily out of the water. Be careful of that as you're navigating. Just be as courteous as you can be, whether you're on Caddo Lake or Lake of the Pines. Guys, let's keep this a safe weekend. Again, on Lake of the Pines, you're going to have a better opportunity to keep an eye on the clouds because you don't have all the trees like you do at Caddo Lake. Just be weather aware. Look for some potential for thunderstorms to pop up this weekend. Again, if you're in a small boat, that 10 mile an hour wind that they're predicting roughly for the weekend might help you decide which lake you want to go to. And then also don't forget about Brandy Branch. A lot of people know that as Perky Power Plant Lake. Perky Power Plant officially closed last year in June. Since they're no longer using that water to cool the power plant, the water temperatures are closer to what we're seeing here. Caddo Lake is roughly 72 degrees. Lake of the Pines is roughly 71 degrees. And what I've noticed, I went out to Brandy Branch yesterday, and there's a lot of people out there catching. The bass are doing really good, and you're seeing people fish all over the lake instead of just the west side of the lake this year. So don't forget about that lake. It's another lake that's not real big. The winds were around 10 mile an hour yesterday, and on the east side of the lake we still weren't seeing whitecaps. So again, if you're in a small boat, that may be another lake here in East Texas that you want to check out. It's producing some really nice bass this time of year. The water is clear out over there, so use your clear water lures over there, lures and jigs. Have a blessed weekend, and let's get outside and make something happen.